Did you know that the majority of today's billionaires follow a similar formula for amassing wealth? John D. Rockefeller famously stated, "The power to produce money is the most stable thing in the world. It is unbreakable when it is in the correct form." Imagine being able to earn any amount of money you desired. You might think that's something you can only hope for, but I'll dispel that notion today. John D. Rockefeller's method for earning his $1 billion has some groundbreaking money techniques that will help you become wealthy. Still don't believe it? Then let's dive in so that you can find out for yourself. The first person to earn $1 billion is John Rockefeller. Rockefeller put $2,000 toward the startup costs of his first company. Of these, $1,200 was borrowed from his father. When John D. Rockefeller passed away in 1937, it was estimated that his fortune was worth $1.4 billion. The same amount in modern terms is $318 billion. Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world, with an estimated net worth of only $219 billion. I came to the conclusion that John Rockefeller's financial success can be attributed to a select few financial skills after reading his biography in greater detail. And I'll reveal to you the essence of these skills when you give this video a thumbs up. Keeping an eye on your finances. When he was 7 years old, Rockefeller worked on a neighbor's farm, helping to gather potatoes and keep rabbits. Then, he took his mother's advice and entered everything, down to the last cent, into the ledger in his first entry. How much money he received, for what, and how did he spend it? These are the modern cash flow statements analogs. John held one of the equipment used to monitor the company's finances until his passing. He lived for 97 years. Rockefeller's childhood was spent in a low-income family, as his biographers like to point out. There was no information on his father's income. What is certain is that the future billionaire's father was a traveling salesman who frequently went throughout the nation. The mother of Rockefeller had to conserve money while the family's head was away. Because of this, she developed the habit of counting every dollar, which she then passed on to her kids. John has known since he was young how tracking money increases its value. His parents intended him to go to university, but Rockefeller opted for an accounting program at a commercial institution. And after finishing his studies, he was hired as an assistant accountant. His supervisors were quick to discover and admire his love of statistics. Rockefeller's co-workers don't want to make changes to already finished periods and projects, and he usually showed excitement when given such assignments. Starting out, Rockefeller made $17 a month. It was already $25 by the second month, and a year later he was earning $800 a year as a manager. It is crucial to underline John's dedication to financial education because it was his understanding of money that served as the cornerstone of his future prosperity. I therefore suggest that you focus on acquiring personal financial knowledge. Do not be reluctant to borrow. Business owners view borrowing money as a bad thing that should be avoided. They don't have to, as demonstrated by Rockefeller's example. Rockefeller most certainly would have worked for hire his entire life if he hadn't borrowed the money from his father to start his own business. Rockefeller's enterprise was always accompanied by borrowed money. Even after he had enough of his own money, he still preferred to sell shares to the following investor. He saved some of his own money as a reserve while also investing some of it. And he would finance the following initiative fully on his own, even if there were no investors. A tiny logistics firm was Rockefeller's first venture. Rockefeller accepted orders for $500,000 in the first year. Money to support them quickly became limited. They already owed his father a large sum of money, which he had given not just a loan, but at a rate of 10% annually. Wherever he could, Rockefeller borrowed the funds that were missing. It wasn't simple, but he was able to complete it. It is considered that only those who lack financial literacy do not fear taking out loans. They vary from Rockefeller in that he made prudent borrowing decisions. Fulfill commitments. When it came to meeting his obligations, particularly financial ones, Rockefeller was always cautious, despite how challenging it was. Additionally, he had several difficulties in the early years of his firm. He always managed to arrive at the correct sum on time. Rockefeller recalls how his father came to his office for a loan payment at the worst possible time and demanded that he needed the money immediately. Then, in his memoir, How I Made $500 Million, it is unclear to Rockefeller whether the coincidence occurred by chance or whether his father purposefully selected the dates for educational purposes. In any case, he paid each creditor exactly as agreed upon and on time, even his own father. Bankers eventually began to believe Rockefeller when he said he would open all of their safes for him. The best assurance was his track record and financial concerns, so be sure to carefully check your credit history, financial reputation, and click the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Pick Up Finance below and enable the bell notifications to make sure you don't miss the best videos we upload. Let's get back to it. Every choice carries a cost. Rockefeller did not behave irrationally, which allowed him to borrow money without concern and routinely meet his obligations. Each choice was thoughtfully considered before being made. He always considered how he would repay the money, how much he would make on the borrowed money, and when and how much he would have to pay back. He calculated when and how much he would multiply his own money if he invested it. Millions of dollars were invested in Rockefeller's businesses. Rockefeller did not forego an investment if it resulted in an increase in output or a decrease in expenses that increased earnings. Rockefeller was the first person in the United States to start moving oil in tanks by rail instead of on horseback while operating full trains across the nation. When he realized the harm caused by many fires and realized that the first refineries in America were essentially sheds, he was the one who decided to stop saving on the safety of refineries. The oilmen believed that although oil is a lucrative industry, it will soon all be extracted, thus they did not see the need to invest in the necessary infrastructure. When Rockefeller started exporting oil, he needed equipment to quickly transport it from tanks to tankers. Rockefeller supplied the required train stops on his own dime. At first, he just provided them to the railroad for free, but this, along with the amount of transportation, served as justification for decreasing the tariff and allowed Rockefeller to ship oil by rail for 3 times less than his rivals. Several iron mines are also owned by Rockefeller. When he learned that using ships to transport people and goods to ports and blast furnaces was more profitable than using trains, he created his own fleet from scratch. His discoveries were viewed as excessively dangerous by Rockefeller's partners, who were unwilling to invest in them. In these situations, he said, "Okay, all of the gains will be mine even though I'll be investing the money alone." Immediately after that, the partners started to be understanding. Everyone was aware that a profit would undoubtedly be made because Rockefeller was willing to invest alone. The concept of wealth. There are financial realities that have been proven time and time again and will make a lot of people wealthy. Exactly, that is the focus of John Rockefeller's financial acumen. Most of you could be put off by their accessibility and ease of use. However, those who can correctly manage them and uncover their inner power can quickly reach their financial objectives. Look around our channel to see if there's anything else you may enjoy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for the next video.